Hey everybody, Joy here. Joy here. My other house, as you can tell. But I have a new project I'm working on, and it is 100% for you. It really is. Because I know you're hearing right now a whole bunch of echoing in this big cave up here. I know, it bugs me too. But who do I have to talk to? Nobody, so I guess it doesn't matter unless I have company. When Jerry comes up here, you know, it's kind of bad. So what am I doing? This room was built in my attic. This was a huge attic. And there was a door right there, just like there is now. And you could walk out here, and then it was just all boards going everywhere and all that pink fluff and all that stuff sprayed on the floor, and you had to walk around on certain boards and everything, you know. So one day, my husband announced to me that I was not allowed to have my long arm at our store in town. We owned a building, we built a commercial building in town. And it had a big back room that I had built in. It had a kitchen in it, like this does. And it was for my grandkids to be in. I can't stand going in people's businesses and their little kids are there or their pets. Worst of all, their pets are there. A business is a business. There ought to be professional grown-ups there. And nobody's kids and nobody's pets. We used to hate it when people would bring their kids in and let their kids get on the electric wheelchairs and the seat lift chairs and those things. So we had to make sure nothing worked so these kids wouldn't, you know, go driving an electric wheelchair through the window or something. So I wanted to make sure that, at that time I had 2 dogs, I wanted to make sure I had a place to hide our grandkids, because I had them a lot back then. Life was different back then. My daughter had a different husband, and he really loved us, and we were allowed to have the grandkids all the time. Well, not all the time. 2 weeks at a time, a week at a time, every weekends, you know, like that, down here at our lake house. And they loved it here. They absolutely loved it here. So we had to go to work. We owned a business. We had to go to work. Grandkids or no grandkids. So I built that big room back there, and I put a TV in it, and I put tables in it, and I had places for them to play games or read or, you know, whatever they wanted to do. So they grew up, and they didn't come anymore. And I bought a long arm. And the only reason I could buy the long arm was I had that room to put it in. There wasn't any room here. And at some point, it was there for a couple years, and we decided to get accredited. We had to get accredited, and that's a big, big deal. That's the government butting their nose into everything you do and how you do it. And so Jerry felt like we shouldn't have any sewing equipment there. I had a sewing machine there and my long arm there. So he said I needed to move it. Well, where was I going to put it? Where the heck was I going to put it? Downstairs in the living room? So I was very stressed over it. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Thought I guess I'd have to put it in the garage or I'd have to sell it. I didn't know what I was going to do. So one day I came up these stairs and I had something in my arms to put in this attic. And I opened the door and I turned on the light and I stepped into this attic. And I looked at how big it was. This attic actually goes into 2 more attics. It goes into more going that way and more going this way. It's a big 2-story house. And so the whole upstairs is has attic on top of it. You can imagine. I'm sure you guys have houses like that too. So I was standing in here and I thought, what if? What if? Instead of an attic, I made this a room. You can tell by the way the ceilings are that it used to be an attic. And that's why when I stand over here, it looks like I can touch the ceiling. And that's why the 2 doors that are in here now are only 5.5 feet tall. So we hired a contractor, and it took, goodness, 6 months probably. And what we did was, I decided I wanted a window in this room. There wasn't any window, it was just all bricks outside. I decided I want a window. And I wanted a great big window at that end, looking out into the woods. So, great idea. We put the big hole there. It was just a hole for a long time with some kind of a a big tarp over it, flapping in the breeze. And there was scaffolding built outside, and so all the people that worked in here came up the scaffolding and in and out of the window. In and out of the window. It was wonderful. They didn't have to come into the other part of my house. Oh, it just worked out so good. The long arm came in that window, and we set it up right over here. So that's how this room happened. So then, many years later, Jerry starts fainting. He keeps not breathing when he's sleeping. He passes out a few times. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with my husband? And so then we find out he has a heart block, and very, very serious, and that he had sleep apnea, and oh, he'd also gone through cancer several years before that. So I was afraid that he might not live. And if I don't have him, I don't want this place. I don't want this great big house on 11 acres. I can't take care of it by myself. Now, since then, and since we bought the other house, and since I've gotten really close to my nephew would come. If I called him, he'd be here this afternoon. He is wonderful to us. And he actually, at this very place, when he was a young boy, Jerry used to ride him around on his bulldozer and on his tractor. And he used to ride the electric lawnmower, or the whatever kind of lawnmower it is. And he just loved it. He just loved it. And at home, my sister said he was always playing in the dirt. He had his Tonka trucks and he was always in the dirt. She said, I couldn't even get him to come in the house out of the dirt. She said, I had to punish him to get him to come in the house out of the dirt. So the guy is now, I don't know, 43 years old, something like that. And he has a whole bunch of big equipment of his own now. But the point is, he knows how to use it all. Whatever Jerry has here, including the RV, he can drive the RV, he can do the tractor, he can do the dozer, he can do anything that's here, he can do it. And so he always says, Aunt Joy, just call me. If Uncle Jerry needs me, just call me, I'll be there. And he will be. So that took 10 trillion tons of stress off of my shoulders. And then Jerry got the pacemaker. He had broken his shoulder on the ice, and suffered with that for a long time, and got his shoulder fixed. Then he got the pacemaker. Then he got the CPAP. And now he's better off than he was before because he's not sick anymore. I mean, he's in on his dozer right now. He's going to go drive behind the dam. Some of the dirt fell down again. He's going to go down there and push the dirt up. So he's doing just great. So I'm not afraid now. I'm not afraid. And even if something did happen to Jerry, which I pray, well, God saved his life so many times already, I know that he's going to live forever, so that's just fine. But even if he didn't, I know my nephew Jeffrey would come help me. My own 2 daughters, I can't get them to come visit me. I can't get one of them to return my phone calls or my texts. Jerry's daughter, and my daughter's just always too busy, and she says nobody wants to come here because I'm too picky. Now, Jeffrey is not as picky as I am, and his wife is totally not as picky as I am. I mean, they've got 3 dogs, 5 dogs, how many dogs they've got, and they live in the house, and they're just the complete opposite of us that way. But it doesn't offend him. It doesn't bother them. They come here and they just move right in. They have no problem. If they bring the dogs, they put them in the little black, whatever you call it, cage thing. The dogs are wonderful. The dogs are well trained. We have a fence in the backyard, but they don't even need a fence. Those dogs walk out with his wife and they stay right by her. And if one of the dogs wanders off, she just says, clicks her fingers or says, get over here. And the dog just does whatever they say. Oh, how do you get that gene, Lord, to be able to train your pets? So we don't even have to worry about them running away here in our 11-acre woods. So anyhow, so get to the point. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Sorry, allergies. So here's the point. We bought the other house back when Jerry was sick and I was afraid he was going to die and I was going to be alone. We bought the other house and we were going to sell this one and move. So we just almost moved. The furniture in this house, a lot of the things in this house don't match that other house. We took a bedroom suite out of another room up there we actually took 2 of them, and I took a whole lot of my sewing stuff up there, a lot of machines and tables, but I left some here because, you know, I thought, well, maybe we won't sell our house in 2 days, and if I go there, I want to sew. So I left some stuff here. But the room, as you can hear by my voice, is empty, very empty. So over here, this is where the 14-foot long arm was, right here. So last time I was here, nobody was complaining about the echo, and I thought, I need to get something else in here to suck up the echo. So I'm just sitting over there at the sewing machine, and I'm looking at this vast expanse over here. You might remember a big L shape where I had 2 of those tables. Now one table's behind you, you can't see it, and the other one's gonna move. But what I've done is I've ordered furniture. Yes, furniture. It'll be here by the end of the week, I hope. So I've got a couch, a love seat, and a chair coming. And we'll get some tables to go around them or with them or whatever when I figure out what to do. So what I'm doing today is taking down everything on this wall. I have all these rulers over here. Now, Joy, what are you going to do with all those rulers? Right now, I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to get some kind of a cabinet to put on the other side of this wall. It's vacant too. And I'm hoping that I can find something that has a long open space in it where I can just set these rulers in there. Because, number one, I don't need all of them. So I will get rid of the ones that I don't need. I'll just take them down to the Goodwill. I have a lot more rulers than this. I've taken a bunch up to the other house, and I have a bunch of little ones over there in my cabinet. You know, I have drawers to pull out over there. And so the little rulers I put in there. Pick up the nails, and I want to scratch my wood floor. All of these SureFit Designs rulers, I definitely want those where I can get them quickly. I bought this, some guy was at Hancock's years and years ago and had some kind of a pattern system. I don't remember what it was. But he was selling this ruler and a couple others. I've had it for 25 years. I have never, ever, ever used it. I know. I took most of my thread racks up to the other house, and I left these, and it's just odd thread on them. I don't even know what this thread is. I never, ever, ever, ever use it. What is it, Robinson Anton? I've never used it. I don't know. I think it came with something I bought. Like a set of that thread came with something I bought years ago. We shall see. You can watch what I do. Because it's going to be here by the end of the week. I want to paint the room. I want to paint the room light blue. And I really should do that before I get the furniture, but I can't help that. You know, I've got to get the furniture while it's available and while I'm here and while I can get it delivered. So, you know, they can just push everything into the middle of the room, cover it up, and paint this room. I want it to be blue. Since we got rid of the blue carpet in this house and we got that cream colored, oatmeal colored carpet, it's just so blasé for a lady that loves color. I love color. There just isn't any. So I'm tired of these plain walls and I want them to be blue. I have the paint color here somewhere. Do I know where it is? No. Oh well, I'm sure I'll find it somewhere and I'll show you later. Good morning. I think I already made a clip for this video. That's been days ago. I can't even remember. I think I was hear the echo. Hello, the echo. Remember, I'm doing this for you. This is a Thursday. I don't remember when I made the first video, but several days ago. So play like this paper right here is a couch. This is a couch. It has it's like 2 chairs hooked together, and in the middle it has that cup holders and that little storage bin. And so that's what this is, and then this is the chair. This is my personal chair. This chair does my favorite thing. It glides, glides, glides. Ah, love that. And it turns completely around. completely around and around. And it has the footrest that pops up. And pardon my elf outfit. I know, what is she wearing today? It's my elf outfit because I have to paint 4 colors on the walls in here because I can't make up my mind what color I want. Plus I want to paint the rest of the upstairs. And so I'm like, do I want to paint all 3 rooms the same color? Do I want 3 different colors? What on earth do I want? And my mind changes momentarily, you know. So, these pieces of furniture will be here Sunday. The little round table that's going to go right here will be here today. I don't know if I'm going to get a coffee table or not. I don't know if, you know, if you put the feet up. For one thing, you can't put that foot up and this foot up or they'll run into each other. But you can put that foot up and this foot up. Or Jerry and I can both sit here and put these 2 feet up. But where's the coffee table? So I don't know about that, but I can always order it later. I've discovered Wayfair. Have you all discovered Wayfair? Oh my goodness. I ordered the table that I'm going to put here yesterday. It's going to be here today. I'm going to order a rug because of the echo. I know it's horrible. I hate it too. I have to hear it too, you know, when I'm in here. So I'm going to get a rug. I just don't know the size yet. Again, you order it from Wayfair. I'll be here tomorrow. All of this stuff, you can see I've removed everything here. So there's 10,000 holes in the wall. I'm going to patch all those. All of this will come down. So instead of being a long arm, 14-foot long arm here, this is going to be a little living area. And of course I always have Jerry approve or disapprove. And of course he came up here and totally disapproved of what he wanted and what I wanted. So I decided to cut out some furniture. So I got some packing paper from when we were moving and I cut it to the size of the chair and to the size of the couch. Then I called Jerry back up here. So Jerry could move these around the way he wanted them. Well, what do you think? I should do a contest. What do you think Jerry decided? Who can guess? What did Jerry decide we must have up here? This is my sewing room, my quilt room, my studio. He's never up here unless he wants to ask me a question or get me to do something. What do you think? He decided we need to have up here. And we already went and we already got it. I should do a contest. First one to tell me. I'll do a giveaway, but I can't tell you what it is if you have to guess it. I'll just tell you, that's silly. He decided this room is 18 foot across. I think I told you that in the last video. It's 35 foot long and 18 foot across. So he decided we needed to have a TV. So I decided, well, if we're going to have a TV, we're going to have something to put the TV on. So I was just going to order some little cabinet from Wayfair. You know, get it tomorrow. He didn't want a little cabinet, he wanted a big cabinet. So we went to the furniture store in Durant called Rhines and Rhodes. And I said, do you have any cabinets you can put a TV on? We ended up with a cabinet 74 inches long and a TV just about that long. I don't even watch TV. Although I decided what I can do is I have lots and lots and lots. In fact, I brought all of Silhouette Patterns videos back. And I have, what's the other place called? Threads. I have the Threads DVDs. I have all of Silhouette Patterns DVDs. I have that really pretty lady who's passed away, Cynthia Guffey. I have hers. I have all of the Palmer and Plesh. Oh yeah, I have a whole cupboard full of DVDs out there. And I never watch them because any other place in the house where there's a TV on, he'll be watching it. Most of the time we watch fishing. Who's that about? So, I've got to put these 4 colors. Do you remember the color my sewing rooms? Remember I turned the dining room, the formal dining room, and the living room into my sewing studio. Studio, I call it, I mean, what's a studio? A studio is a place where you make movies. Well, I made videos there too. So that room, those 2 rooms were painted this color. And this color is Tropical Bay. Ah, luscious. Love it. Love it, love it. This color is a much lighter version of Tropical Bay. I don't know what it's called. What's your name? Swimming. This one's called Swimming. So you have to know how to swim if you put that on the wall. And then these are the 2 blues. I picked 2 greens and 2 blues. So this is kind of a grayish, almost purplish blue. And this is a blue that I think, I couldn't wear this blue. That's a dull blue. This is a bright blue. So this one's called Jetstream. And this one's called Sugar Plum. So I'm going to put these on the wall. I know how to paint. My daddy was a painter, his daddy was a painter. But my daddy didn't stay a painter. You know, he painted when he was living at home growing up. But he became a designer, a draftsman, designer type person. He actually invented things for Motorola. But when you work for Motorola, if you invent something, it's theirs. So you don't get any credit for it. They give you a dinner and buy you a steak, but you don't get to keep the invention or do anything with it. But Daddy invented several things for him. One of the things, for Motorola, one of the things he invented, maybe perfected, I don't know, I wasn't there as a child, was he got the idea from our pop beads. When you were little kids, did you have pop beads? And you could pull them apart and you could pop them back together? Oh my gosh, they were so fun. I wonder if they still exist. So, me and my sisters, we all had pop bead necklaces and pop bead bracelets. So, he invented, this is way back when, you understand, 45, 50, 60, 70 years ago. He invented a little round ball that a camera could rotate on. I've got you on one right now. To go in a police car. So I think it was a camera. It was something in a police car that needed to be able to turn and rotate. And Daddy invented the little thing that you attach. So, how about that? He invented other things too, but I don't even know what they are or what they were for. I know they were silver and they were metal. So what did I tell you that for? Oh yes, my dad grew up being a painter. So I know how to paint. I've painted many rooms. But with my hip issues right now, and the pain that I get from moving a certain way, I'm afraid to get up on the ladder. You know, if I didn't have somebody behind me holding me or somebody tying me to the ladder, well, it's kind of hard to paint a room if you're tied to the ladder. I'd have to drag the ladder around with me. That wouldn't work. So after a while, I'm not brave enough yet to open these up and start putting them on the wall. I'm like, what if I wake up tomorrow and I completely change my mind? I actually matched the paint samples, held them up to my quilts. And the green doesn't go with any of my quilts, actually. What goes with my quilts is the blues. These blues, all the blues, just about any blue goes. Stream, listen to these names. Stream, Rest Assured, Jetstream. So this is the one I got, Jetstream. Swimming isn't here anymore, but Swimming's the green one. So that's just a little update on what I'm doing and where I'm doing it at. My nephew, my precious nephew, Jeffrey, is on his way here. He just got a brand spanking new truck. His old truck had 300 and something thousand miles on it. And every time he came to my house, he got oil on my driveway. So he needed a new truck really bad. So he got a new truck, I guess, since we left last weekend. And so he's coming here because he's precious and just always offers to help his Uncle Jerry. We have decided to drain the little pond that Jerry built 100 years ago. The dam on that pond turned out to be on a spring. Now the spring doesn't always spring. The spring only springs certain times of the year. So when Jerry built the dam was just fine. It stayed there, it was great, it filled up with rain, we had a pond, it was wonderful. But then, the spring started getting all of the dirt behind the dam soaking wet. And that dam has fallen down. The center of it falls down. I'll draw you a picture. Hold on. So an artist I am not. So let's draw a pond. Here's the pond, and then there's the big dam going all behind it. Okay? So this colored in part is the dam. All right? So what happens, and it usually happens every other year at least, sometimes we'll get by for 3 years. What happens is that spring will get full of water and it will come up into the bottom of the dam, and I'll just try to draw this in a different color so you can see it. You see that orange part? And of course this dam is humongous, you know. 2 blocks across, I don't know, it's big. But the whole center of it falls down, and it falls down back here on the ground behind the dam. And Jerry can't get back here until the spring dries up with his bulldozer. So he has to wait, and right now it's dry. And so when we first came here, he went back there with his dozer and he started pushing this all back up. Push up, push up, push up. He came in that night and he was exhausted. He looked like he had crawled underneath the dam with his clothes on. And we got in bed that night and he was so tired, and I said, you know what? You should just drain that thing. What do we need a pond there for anyway? We got the other big pond. Why don't you just drain it and get rid of the dam, and you won't ever have to mess with that again. He ignored me, didn't say a word. He's like this all the time, I promise you, ask Philly. Didn't say a word. We wake up the next morning, we get up, we're having our coffee. He says, I've decided I need to drain that dam. I'm like, you don't say. So, the whole point of telling you that story is, my nephew called. He just called. He always calls when we're here to see if everything's okay. He's actually come here. He came here last summer and helped Uncle Jerry put that dam back up with his equipment. He helped him. It was wonderful. And so he's always asking, you know, how are things down there? Does Uncle Jerry need me? So I told him Jerry had decided to drain the pond and we needed to buy. We were at Lowe's actually. And Jerry was looking for things to put together to drain the water out of the pond. And so I put Jeffrey on speakerphone, and he said, let me talk to him. And Jeffrey told Jerry, I have 3 pumps and all of the hoses that go with him. My nephew builds swimming pools. He puts swimming pools in for people. And so he's had to drain the water out of the holes before so we could put the pool in it. So he has everything in the world. So he loaded up his stuff last night in his brand spanking new truck, and he is on his way down here right now. He told Uncle Jerry, don't buy anything, I have everything you need, and he's coming down here to help him. So, how precious to have family. I'll be back. Hey everybody, this isn't the beginning, this is the middle somewhere of this video. I have 2 other clips on this camera. I remember standing here and telling you about the echo or something. So I'm standing here on the new rug that just came yesterday. This is a 5x7 rug. They had this packaged in a 12x18 box. I kid you not. If you could see it close enough, you could see the 50,000 wrinkles in it. They're starting to come out, starting to fluff up a little bit. But I'm trying to get some more things in here to soak up the echo. To me, it still sounds echoey. Does it still sound echoey to you? I think maybe when I put the paint on the wall, I'm going to paint the walls in here because, you know, my furniture, my new couches, how do you like my new couches? My furniture is cream colored, so I don't want the walls to be the same color as my couches. And so now my husband and I practically live up here. Remember I told you how I went to the store and how comfortable the chairs are? They're electric. Look at this. What I love about these chairs is that you can put your feet up without the back going back. Now if you want the back to go back, you just keep going, see? But you don't have to have the back. So, unlike our other house, you got to lay down to watch TV because the TV's way up high above the fireplace. And I don't like that. So Jerry decided we need to have a TV in here, of course. I never watch TV, but now I do. I have, one of you mentioned sewing DVDs. And I have many, 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 many. I have all the Palmer and Flash. I have all the silhouette patterns. I have a whole bunch of DVDs. So I can certainly watch those. But the issue about that is, to watch them, I need to be sitting in this chair. Because the TV's straight ahead. And my sewing area is now all over there. So I told Jerry we may have to turn this whole area around here. I don't know. We're going to paint it, and so everything's going to have to get squished in the middle of the room or pulled out to that room. I don't know what the painters will do. But I am, and this room is an attic, former attic, so the ceilings come down very, very low. And the doors are only 5.5 feet tall. And so everybody but me hits their head going through the little doors because there's more attic. So I'm going to have to paint the ceiling and everything. And I think I'm going with blue. I thought about making it the color of my sewing room in Edmond. I loved that room. Loved it so much. That color. But I think in here I'm going to go with blue. Because that Tropical Bay was the color of my house in Edmond, and Tropical Bay doesn't match any of my quilts. Blue matches all of them. So I think I'm going to do blue. You know, blue goes with everything. So I'm going to finish taking down, can you notice here behind the couch, I've taken down all the rulers. I don't know if the camera can see it, but there's a whole bunch of holes that have been patched up there. Whole bunch of holes patched over here. So I've got to finish doing that. The owner of the paint company, they're from Sherman, Texas. It's called Junior's Painting, and they're very, 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 very good. All 5 stars. They painted that room out there a couple years ago. Very, very good. Very happy with everything they did. Very friendly. Only speak a little bit of English, some of them. But very nice. So I'll have to take down everything else on the walls. I don't know if I'll put anything back on the walls except my quilts. I don't know. We shall see. Bumblebee. Do you see that little boy? Yeah, we watch TV now up here, right? So last night we were sitting here. Oh, this chair. You got to see this chair. Look what this chair does. Look. Oh, in heaven when I'm rocking. They call this a glider. Oh. This is what sold me when I was at the furniture store. And remember I told you Jerry was in a bad mood that day, and I asked him to sit in it and he refused to sit in it. Well, now I can't get him out of it. I'm like, that's my chair, get out of it. Not really, he can sit there all he wants. So anyway, we were in here last night. And of course you have to have a popcorn machine. You know how to order a popcorn machine, we have to have popcorn now. So we were having our popcorn, watching YouTube, because that's the only place to find anything we want to watch. And we like to watch, what is it called? The Genius Children. I can't remember what the name of the show was, but it had, his name wasn't Paul Harvey, Steve Harvey. That real tall, good looking black guy. And he had a show, you know, Art Linkletter used to have one with the little kids. I just adore children. I just adore children anyway. But this one was Little Big Shots. I think it's called Little Big Shots. And so we were watching that. It's reruns, you know. And so they show a whole bunch of different children at the same time. And one of them was this little boy. Four. Little boy. He's from California, I think. But he looks Chinese or Japanese, you know, one of those. And plays the piano, full-size grand piano. It's got little itty-bitty tiny hands. And he plays it, no music, no papers, nothing to go by. He just hears a song and can sit down and play it. And we're talking Bach here. Anyway, he was playing the Bumblebee song. And for some reason, I was thinking of a bumblebee a minute ago, so that's why I told you that. And I'm sure that was, oh, that kid's probably 15 now or something, I don't know. But, oh, a gift God has given some people. And so sad that nowadays most people are clueless. where they came from, why they're here, and what their gift is. The younger generation. See it every day and it breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Okay, what am I doing? I've been doing a lot. I have a new thing I'm doing. Remember the dress that looked like a 5-year-old? Hold on. This was the dress. There's the hem. This was the dress. So I took it off of Lucy and I cut the bottom off of it. This is the former bottom. And so now it's a top. So now I will wear it because I did not like it as a dress. I just looked like a little baby girl in it. And so if I wear it with jeans, you know, you can put anything on top of jeans. You're throwing that away? Yes, I am. I saved some of it for if I need a piece of scrap fabric to sew on. So I've got a new dress on Lucy. I finished that. I also finished this. I haven't put it away yet. I think I showed you this earlier in this video. But you know, that's been 4 or 5 days ago. I finished this and it turned out really, really good. So I probably got a picture somewhere I can put in here of that dress. So now what am I doing? So called Philly day before yesterday, and of course we talked for an hour, and I told her, I'm doing this thing and you have to do it with me. I said, I even bought you a sweatshirt so you can do it. Hold on. See, here it is. Here's the sweatshirt. And so anything I do, Philly has to do too, right? So I got her one. So I don't know how I'm going to get it to her. Well, when I get back to Tulsa, I'll give it to her. So it's laundry basket quilts, Aditya Sitar, S-I-T-A-R, and Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, in 3 days, Saturday, September 6, 2025. She's having a 1-day virtual sew-along for this jacket called the Beachcomber jacket. Right there. Now I have actually made a quilted jacket before. It's real cute, but it's at my other house. Totally different, but I did it with a sweatshirt like that. By the way, here's the color I'm going to paint the room, I think, right there. Sugar Plum. Fun name, Sugar Plum Blue. So I decided it would be a fun, easy, quick project. So last night, I started making, she even said, go ahead and start making the stars for it. So last night, I started making some stars. And I had my usual issues of getting the 1/4 inch seam right. So I sewed this together, took it apart, sewed it together, took it apart, put it back together, and it's finally right. It measures right. So that's just the middle of one of the stars, obviously. So I did not have the fabric that she is telling you need to have. Well, I've got fabric, tons of fabric, most of it at my other house. But she said you're going to need several yards, I think, of, let me just see what it says. You were going to need a lot of the background color. 7/4 yards of light fabric. So what's 7/4 yards? That's almost 2 yards. Do I have 2 yards of light fabric? No, not here. You need a sweatshirt, 2 sizes large. I got mine 2 sizes large. She says 1 size large. 2.5 yards of lining. That won't be a problem. That's at my other house. 30 fat 8s. I don't have 30 fat 8s. I don't have any fat 8s. I don't buy fat 8s. But what I did have, I grabbed a stack of my layer cakes and brought them down here with me. And then I chose 2 stacks of solid colors and then several stacks of some designs, okay? So one of them that I happened to grab turned out to be her, what's it called, lighthouse fabric? One of her beachy ones. And so these are 10-inch squares. So I decided I'm going to use these to make up as many squares as I can. And then when I get back to my other house, I have miles of Edita Sitar's different fabrics. I bought half-yard bundles of 2 of them. And one of them's blues. I don't remember which one. Yes, I do remember which one. It's cocoa blue. So I'm going to make this on Saturday, and Philly is going to make it with me, but not on Saturday because she's going on a vacation with her brother for 8 days, and she's leaving on the 8th, I think. So I don't know, maybe, no, they're going to be here at her house, and so no, she won't be able to do it yet, but she's going to do it with me. So that's one of my next projects. I also brought with me my scarecrow quilt, Silly Willy, and I'm going to bind him today or tomorrow or the next day or the next week or the next month, who knows. But I brought this. You know, getting this room painted, if the man comes tomorrow and he says, we can paint it on Friday, well, woo, my life is on hold until they get that done. I know they work Saturdays and Sundays too, but they're very, very busy. Very good reputation. It may be months before they can come paint this room. We'll find out. I'll keep you posted on that. But right now, I'm going to make some more stars, and then I'll come back after a while and I'll show you that. And no, I didn't make my blouse. JCPenney's made it. And no, I didn't make my pants. Walmart made them. Here we are on Friday again. These weeks just fly by. Honestly, this morning I was sitting there eating my toast and drinking my coffee, and I thought, is this Friday or Saturday? That man came on Thursday. So did I put this paint on the wall on Thursday, or did I do it the day after? I mean, some days I do not know what day it is. I missed my friend's birthday. I just don't know what day it is. I almost missed my brother-in-law's birthday, but somebody mentioned the date, September 4th. I went, oh, that's Jonathan's birthday. So my girlfriend Deb's birthday is August 31. I think it's 30 or 31. And I missed it, darn. So anyway, look at my walls I've destroyed now. My mind. I'm like, I want to do it, I don't want to do it. I want to do it, I don't want to do it. I want to do it, I don't want to do it. You know, it's a hassle when the painters come every day for 2 or 3 days and they bring all their stuff, and your house is just a mess. Of course, it'll be just the upstairs, but what a mess. But I'm going to do it. I had 4 paint samples. I only put 3 on the wall because my 4th sample was a darker color of this. This is a green, a greeny blue. I don't remember its name, but it's like the paint that I put in my house when I had that house in Edmond. And I just don't like it in here. I like the paint color, but I don't like that it doesn't match my quilts. I don't have that color in any of my quilts. It's hard to find that color in pillows or blankets, or it's just an odd color to try to match. Oh, my fuzzy rug. Ah, the wrinkles are going away and its fuzziness is coming. Very nice. So, the man came, his name is Junior, he's very nice. And he had his little light bulb, his little laser light thing, you know, to measure all the rooms, 3 rooms up here. He pointed out a couple cracks. There's 2 in here, but they're minor. But you know, they could get worse. So there's 2 cracks in here that they need to patch on the ceiling. And in the bedroom, there's a crack all the way across the ceiling in the short area of the ceiling. Not the length of the ceiling, but the short part. So I'm going to get those fixed. I'm going to paint all 3 rooms the same color. So this is going to be the blue rooms. Jerry said all our rooms are blue. So I told him I would try a different color, which is why I tried that one, because he says all our rooms are blue. So I told him yesterday, I said, the reason all our rooms are blue is because that's what you and I look good in, blue. He has blue eyes. And we just look good in blue. My mother said, I've told you many times, that when I was a baby, I looked terrible in pink, so she always dressed me in blue. Everybody probably thought I was a little boy. And oh, did I have hair when I was born. I had more hair when I was born than I got now. And it was black. Oh, so cute. You know, my mom made me an album years ago, 20, 30 years ago. And I just love it. It's an album. It's one of those book albums, you know, when you have the slots No, it wasn't the one with the slots. It was the ones that you could glue the pictures to. You pulled the plastic up and then you could stick the pictures under the plastic, you know, that kind. And all of the pictures she had of me from when I was a newborn baby till when I left home, she put in that album. I have lost it. I cannot imagine what happened to it. So what do you think? Green blue, called Swimming. This one's called Sugar Plum. And this one's called Jet Stream, I think. Jet Stream. I don't like this one because it doesn't look good with my quilt. I love this one because I actually picked a color in this quilt for this color of paint. And it goes with all my quilts. So I really like this color. So I think the whole upstairs is going to be this color. How do I look on it? And what am I wearing? Green. Notice my dress is now a top. If you make something and you don't like it, which is always me, hang it up for a few weeks. When I came back here from the other house, this was on Lucy. And I thought, I'm never going to wear that as a dress. I don't have the shoes for it. I don't have shoes for anything. My feet swell. Can you see my feet are swelling? They aren't too bad right now. But my feet swell. And so I can't wear pretty shoes. And so when I have a dress, you all know, I've told you many times, if you're new, hello, I'm so glad you're here. We came here to watch sewing. I sewed this. I made this quilt. You're in the right place. So, what was I saying before I interrupted myself? I told you many years ago, or I've told you many times. What have I told you many times? I don't know what I was saying I told you many times. I've told you many times how I miss my lightning fast mind. I often don't like things when I finish making them. Sometimes I throw them in the garbage. Well, of course, up here the garbage doesn't have any food in it. It's just, you know, my Kleenex and fabric scraps. And I'll throw it in the trash because I just hate it. And I'll come up a few days later and pull it out of the trash and change it somehow. So that's what I did to this. I took this off Lucy and I cut it off and I made a blouse out of it. Now this is a style that I copied. I saw online a dress made like this. So that's why I thought I needed to make a dress like this. Well, actually, all I really need to copy is the neckline. You can make it any length you want. You know, a dress is just a blouse lengthened, right? Unless it's a skirt and a top. I better check that. So many interruptions. Sorry, y'all. I have no clue what I was telling you. Something about my picture book that I can't find. So, what have I been doing since the other day? I've got to finish this video or you're never going to see one for a long, long time. I fixed this. Has a zipper in the back. I think I already showed you that. I put my 3 colors on the wall and just got the bid. So I'm not sure when they can start, but hopefully it'll be a couple of weeks because y'all gotta get all this stuff off the walls. Oh my goodness, I don't even have time to make videos. Honestly, I don't. But I want to show you real fast what I'm doing. I'm doing this. I think I told you about it in my last clip. So I have been making stars. I have had the worst time getting them to come out the right measurements. You know, I'm a much better garment maker than I am a quilt piecer. And these stars require piecing, and that is not my best talent. Even though I've done it so much, and I try and I try and I try to get it right. But you know what I discovered? And I have heard this. I don't know if my friend Becky said it or other quilting people have said it. But when you are cutting out pieces to make blocks, whatever rulers you start with, stay with them. My favorite are Quilter Select. I didn't have any here. So I've got several other. I've got Omnigrid and I've got Quilter's Rule, not the same as Quilter Select, Quilter's Rule, Omnigrid, and I don't know how many others. Would you believe they don't cut the same? A 2-inch square is not the same on every ruler. I don't get that. I don't know how they could sell them. But yesterday it dawned on my lightning fast mind that I had just a couple Quilter Select rulers. You can't get them from Amazon or I would have ordered them. I had a couple Quilter Select rulers in the RV. But you know I keep a sewing machine in the RV. So I went over there and I got those. And so the last star that I made came out almost perfect. Still had a tiny problem crossing one seam, the point, and getting the point to show the way I like it to show, but I think everybody has that problem, I think. So I have spent hours last night and hours this morning. I'm supposed to be paying bills. I'm being a bad girl. But I pay them online, I've got to do that. So I happened to grab, when I left my house in Mounds, what day is this? Was it just last Sunday? Have we only been here a week? Yeah, it was just last Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday morning. We left our house in Mounds. And I thought, I am going to start moving some of my pre-cuts there. I have tons of pre-cuts. And I had already gotten all my things ready, and Jerry always gets mad if I add something at the last minute, and you know, I understand, I would too. So I thought, well, pre-cuts aren't very big. So I went into one of my areas where I keep my pre-cuts, and I grabbed a couple lights and a couple colors. I think I picked up 5 layer cakes. And then I just brought them. You know, I just stuck them in the back seat in a bag or something that was already there. So thank goodness I did, because they have come in very, very handy. But then I couldn't make up my mind, because I don't have enough fabric in one layer cake to make this whole vest or sweater, whatever it is. So I played and played and played last night, and I played and played and played this morning, and I'm going to show you what I've come up with. I took a picture of it. You know how you're supposed to take a picture and then you turn it to black and white, and then it shows you if you have your values right. My values all over the place, but I don't care. If I like it, I'm going to leave it that way. So come with me in here and I'll show you what I'm doing. Well, look here. That's my house coat. I came up here at 6 a.m. this morning with my coffee, and I had my house coat on. So these are all going to be little stars. You have to have 24 little stars. So these are my little stars. You have to have 6 big stars. And the way Edita has you do it is to put light on top of dark. No, other way around. She has you put a dark star on light fabric. I'm doing mine however I want to. Over here are the 5 dark ones. See? So this will be a big star, this will be a big star, this will be a big star. I'm gonna be a big star. How come I don't have 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I better go back to kindergarten and learn how to count. I'll have to work on that. Okay, I have to go. I have to pay bills, you guys. Here we are up to another Monday. September 8th. When did I start this? Like last year or something? To tell you the truth, I keep forgetting I'm making y'all a video. Trying to pick paint colors for this room. I have 7 little jugs of different colors of paint. They're all over the walls. You can't see them from here, but just take my word for it. They're everywhere. And then the bedroom in there, we have to paint it. Because when we moved, we did move out of that bedroom. When we bought that other house, we took all the furniture. That was a guest room. And we took all the furniture out of it and took it to our other house. So that's the guest room at the other house now. So that room's vacant. And the paint on the wall in there was painted many, many years ago to match a bedspread I bought for my mother. She loved violets, and I bought a bedspread for her, thinking she would be coming here and staying here. And she did some, but not a lot. And when I had to take care of her before she died, she really couldn't go up and down the stairs. And at the time I made the room for her, she said, of course I'll be able to go up and down the stairs, or you can buy me one of those machines. Because that's the kind of business we were in. But she never could. So the walls are painted to match her violets on her violet bedspread. She did take the violet bedspread home to her house. So it was never even here. So we're repainting hanging walls in there because when we moved the furniture, we moved a great big huge bookcase that was full of fabric. We moved that great big bookcase on the wall and it had a whole bunch of big anchors in the wall and left huge holes. And the paint, even though we have some of that paint left, paint in a can that's 20 years old does not match paint on the wall that's 20 years old. We have discovered that over and over again. So just FYI, it's not going to match. I don't know, the sheen changes, but if you patch, plug the hole and patch it, she looks horrible. Horrible, horrible. We're not going to paint the big media room in there. That's going to stay the way it is. But this room is going to be painted Barbados blue. So next Monday, the painters are supposed to come and they're supposed to start. We shall see how that turns out. Yes. So I told you I was going to take a class on Saturday from Edita Sitar about making a sweatshirt jacket. My sweatshirt turned out to be a nightmare. The shoulder seam dropped way down here on it. I didn't even notice that. Somebody mentioned it during the class that they had one like that, and I thought, well, I wonder what mine's like. Sure enough, it was just like that. The sweatshirt that Edita uses, the shoulder seam is up here, like it is on this t-shirt. I could use this t-shirt, actually, to make one of those jackets. You do not have to use a sweatshirt. And I may. The problem is, though, these sleeves wouldn't be big enough for a jacket, because the jacket has to go over a sleeve. So that project was a complete failure insofar as putting anything on the sweatshirt. I did cut the sleeves off. I cut all the ribbing off. I got it all ready. Then I decided it was way too big, so I cut it smaller. And when I got through doing that, it was way too small. So y'all think I'm so smart. I'll tell you, sometimes I wonder if I should just quit sewing altogether. But I did make some blocks to go on the sweatshirt here. See, I've got a blue star, a pink star, and here's the next thing. In her sew-along Saturday, she said she's giving us, as a surprise, which I haven't gotten yet, a whole bunch of different sizes to make this in. This is a 12-inch. It's way too big. I would have had to put it in the center of the back of that sweatshirt to use the whole star. Otherwise, parts of it would have been cut off. So I definitely want to make smaller stars. Here's the other size that she gives you, but that one's too small for the big star. So I'm waiting for her sizes to come. Haven't seen that come across yet. And then I've just looked up how to make some different blocks. Because you're supposed to use Orphan blocks. If you have any, well, I don't have any. So I made some Orphan blocks. My favorite Orphan block, look at this, it's so cute. Let me show you my Orphan blocks. Super cuteness. Super cuteness. I love my Orphan blocks. Now the size, you're supposed to kind of figure out the size so you can put, if you have a 12-inch star, you would want the little ones to be 6. Mine aren't. So I'm going to have to fiddle, but that's okay because I'm a good fiddler. Are they cute or what? Totally, totally cute. So I figure these can go, you know, like on the arms. Yeah, super darling. That project didn't go any further than that. And I actually, yesterday was Sunday, and I made these baby blocks yesterday on Sunday. Here's another heart. Oh, and here's a small star, Edita small star. 8-point star, I think it's called. Let me see. This is an 8-point star too, but it's made differently because it has 2 colors of point in it. Okay? Meanwhile, my husband is knocking the dam down on our little pond. My husband built 2 ponds here. We built a small pond in, you know, we have a real big lawn here, so way across the yard. He built the first pond. The second pond is over on our other 6 acres, which is next to our 5 acres, and it's a big pond, and it's fine, it's perfectly fine. But the first time Jerry built a pond, he didn't really know what he was doing. You know, you push a bunch of dirt up and you make a dam. Well, that works out fine unless there happens to be a spring underneath the dam. So every single summer, when the spring gets full of water, the back of the dam falls down. I told you that somewhere in this video already. So he is knocking the dam into the pond, sucking the water out of the pond with 2 water remover sucker machines. And when the water gets down low enough, which it hasn't yet, we're going to start getting fish out and cleaning fish and freezing them. So I took some pictures you want to see. You know, a lot of you know my husband Jerry. So here's a few pictures, maybe a video if I can figure out how to show it to you. Jerry has started pushing the dam into the pond. He needs to push the dirt into one end of the pond to make the pond a little deeper so he can drain more water out of it. But you can see how much water's gone down. Isn't that amazing? Oh my goodness. His plan is to go out there on the dry dirt after he gets it dozered down there, and then tomorrow or the next day, and start throwing a cast net. So this is September 8th, 2025. We still can't see the fish. See, I told you, Jerry is a new person. He's been on that dozer for days and days and days. He's got a big net, a 20-inch wide net. I don't know if y'all know much about fishing, but it's got lots and lots of weights. It's heavy, very heavy. It's got weights all the way around it and opens up to 20-foot circle. And so you kind of scrunch it all up and fold it all up, and then you stand over the water, usually the lake, and you're in the boat, and you throw this thing out, and it opens up and it falls down on the fish, and then you pull it up and you catch a whole bunch of bait fish. Well, that's what we plan on throwing in this pond to catch some fish. But Jerry, you know, he had his shoulder, the heart, the sleep apnea, and he didn't know if he'd be able to do it. Well, he did it. He threw that thing like over 20 times yesterday in the grass, practicing in the grass. So he's doing that. He's using that dozer every day. He's just like he used to be. He's doing so good. I'm just so excited. And it's like the more he does it, the better he actually feels. So praise the Lord for that. I'm going to let y'all go. I have to get this room totally stripped for the painters to come. You know, the quilts have to come down, the racks have to come down. I've taken down all the thread, but I've still got things that have to come down. They will move the furniture, of course, but I've got to get my sewing machines out of here. They said if you have anything precious or priceless or antique or whatever, you're responsible for it. So my sewing machines are leaving the room. I'll be back after I paint my room. How about that? Y'all have a really wonderful fall until I get back.